playing a lot of Super Mario Advance 2 lately. That is, of course, the port of Super Mario World for the Game Boy Advance. And I came away with very positive opinions of it. Like, I thought that the graphics were a slight downgrade, that the music was not quite as good, that that there were like some weird like there was some like weird like changes made to like the localization and stuff like that. Well, a lot of Super Nintendo ports and Game Boy Advance are like that, right? But playing the game over and over and over again I've really developed an appreciation for how good this version of the game actually is. Now, I really like the original Super Mario World. The music is fantastic, but there can be no denying that Super Mario Advance 2 does have a lot going for it. Specifically, the fact that there are really cool, interesting little tidbits like thrown out the experience. Having a cool new opening cutscene. Having unlockables. Having the ability to like look at what level exits you've missed, right? Just in general, just minor quality of life improvements. Having Luigi with his own character model and his unique Super Mario Bros. 2 physics, right? That is really interesting. Right? This almost makes the game feel completely different, right? It's one of those things that like you don't think would really result in like all that spectacular of a difference, but playing through all of Super Mario World as Luigi with the Super Mario Bros. 2 physics, it is a completely different experience to the point where like I was honestly surprised with how much fun I was having with it. And going through the game and like finding all the exits and like seeing that like, oh wow, they have new cutscenes, right? They give you like you unlock the special world through a different method in this, right? You can Dragon coins actually unlock an in-game achievement. Like the game keeps track of if you collected them or not. So you have to play through every level and look in every look and cranny, right? To like really soak in just how well put together these levels are, right? Like collecting dragon coins in the original Super Mario World is pointless, but in Advance 2, it's actually really worthwhile and fun, right? It makes the game feel like a completely different experience. So instead of just making a beeline for the exit, you have to like go around and like explore all these nooks and crannies and like find where all the dragon coins are. And it is a lot of fun, right? I've had a lot of praise for like Super Mario Advance 1 and 4 specifically over the years. Both of those are my preferred versions of those games. But like until recently, I assumed that Super Mario Advance 2 was not very good and that like it was just like an inferior port of the Super Nintendo version. And in some ways that's true, but that is devaluing like all of the value that like Super Mario Advance 2 brings to the table. Especially when you take into account the fact that like this was originally portable. So you're telling me I can carry this game anywhere I want, save it in between levels, and then pick up right where I left off? Like that's crazy. Like that would have been like mind blowing to me as a kid. I didn't know in Super Mario Advance 2 growing up, but like, actually seeing just how more convenient Super Mario Advance 2 is compared to like Super Mario World's thing where like you have to beat a castle or a ghost house to save the game. Like like I love Super Mario World, but I don't think Super Mario Advance 2 gets enough praise. Playing this game as much as I really have grown, developed a new attachment to.